So now it is my pleasure and my delight to reintroduce to you, but under a different title, Reverend Gerrie Walker.
So I'll do the sacred reading. Hello. So I wrote a piece for the sacred reading, so I'll read that first. Spoken word. This was written in 2019. I am enough. I am enough because of the God stuff within me. I am enough to conquer any mountain. I am enough to conquer any challenge. I am enough to be successful. I am enough to be an entrepreneur. I am enough. And as the Heavenly Spirit told me, as the Heavenly Spirit instructed me, as the Heavenly Spirit deemed me to be, I am enough. I will always be enough for any challenge, for any obstacle, for any trial or tribulation. God has fortified me. God has fortified me, yes. So when I look up in the sky and I see how beautiful the blue sky is, I remember how beautiful my God says I am. Because I am enough. I've always been enough. I will always be enough. I have always been that which I am. God's personified existence on this planet. God's amazing, amazing opportunity to be all that I can be. And that is enough. That is enough. And so it is. Thank you. So good morning, CSA. I am so excited, so extremely, completely excited to be here after finishing ministerial school. Woo. And I'm very excited to share with you today the manifestation of your destiny. The manifestation of your destiny. So that is my topic for today, the manifestation of your destiny. What are you wanting, dreaming, and inspiring your life to be? What is that manifestation of your destiny? When I first began thinking about this topic of manifestation of your life's destiny, I knew and realized I first needed to discuss our spiritual principles, wholeness and abundance. So let's define wholeness metaphysically so we can have that pinned down. Wholeness is what we have been given from birth, that we are perfect, that we are whole and complete at all times and in all ways. There is nothing that needs to be added, but there is, however, much that can be realigned or reframed to remind us and others that we are divinely brought into this world with all the things that are needed for us to be the amazing expression of God that we have always been meant to be. And to define abundance, the Science of Mind text reminds us that abundance is defined as an ever-present spiritual consciousness rather than a physical accumulation. Rooted in the writings of our founder, Ernest Holmes, it operates as a universal law. The universe is inherently infinite, and individuals that manifest this supply by recognizing it in thought, speaking of it, and giving thanks. Now, when we think of both of these things, we know that society and even the systems that have been put into place regarding an individual's worth, as it is shown to us here in the United States, are that both of these terms are not seen that way for everyone all the time. As a matter of fact, the world wants us to believe that those terms and those attributes belong to some but not everyone. And to be truly honest with you, I feel everyone can benefit from the principles and the teachings of science of mind on this planet. Thank you. Yes. Whenever you are given something that reminds you of your greatness and your amazingness in this world, that should be given and taught to everyone. Everyone needs these teachings. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is where the science of mind theology helped me to do away with that stinking thinking of how the world perceives my destiny for me. Yes, science of mind helped me remember and understand that I am not only perfect, whole, and complete, I am an abundant member of this huge society that may see me differently, but because of science of mind, I know who and what I am. Whole, perfect, complete, and I am and have always been abundant. Because I may not know when the blessing is coming. I may not know in what form the blessing will be received, but I do know that the blessing is always right on time. Yes. We may not know when our blessing is coming. We may not know how that blessing will turn out in our lives. We may not know that at all. But we do know that because of God and because of our faith and because of who we are, we know the blessing is always right on time. Yes. Because when I first thought of this topic, I thought of how I see my life and what I have done to manifest goodness and blessings into my life with the Creator, or I prefer to say with God. Because everything I do and everything I co-create with God to be manifested into my destiny is because of my working with and being in alignment with God. So the process that I came up with was the manifestation of your destiny. So when I think about this topic, I think about an opportunity. I think about an opportunity that we all are afforded. The opportunity to live a life that is full of joy, love, and peace and all good things. And as we live that life, as we begin that process, when we walk that road, we realize that sometimes things happen in our lives that cause ripples, that cause bubbles, that cause issues in that manifestation of our destiny. So what do we do when these bubbles, these ripples, these issues come upon us? We do many things. We go through it because we are not going to let anything stop our destiny. We go around it because we are not going to let anything stop our destiny. And sometimes we are stopped because we don't believe that we can get to the other side of this particular obstacle, this particular puddle, or this particular issue, because society or even our own families don't see or believe this is true for us. Well, I'm here to tell you, you are capable. It is possible, and it is your birthright to be successful, to be abundant, to be prosperous, to live a life full of joy. That is your manifestation of your destiny. That is your manifestation of your destiny. That is why I love New Thought. When I came into New Thought, I realized that not only was I powerful in my own right, but when I co-create with God, my Creator, we make things happen, don't we? When we co-create with God, we make things happen. We are in alignment with Spirit. We make things happen. Things flow smoother. Things seem easier. The road seems clearer, stronger, calmer. Yes. What is the manifestation of your destiny? What is the manifestation of your destiny? I would like to share a story. I love telling stories. And the story is a manifestation of your destiny. So we begin this life as a baby. And as we are formed in our formative years, we realize that there are certain things we want to see manifested in our lives. Certain things we want to see manifested in our destiny. So we pray about it. We seek it out. We ambitiously run toward the goal line, but we seem to forget sometimes. And what we seem to forget is this: the idea that we are not doing this alone. We cannot and should not be doing this by ourselves. But how do we get there when we are dealing with all this other stuff? That's the question. That is the question you ask yourself. That is the question many other people ask you. That is the question of the hour. If the manifestation of my destiny is within me, is a part of me, is something that I know will occur, then why hasn't it happened? And how do I get there? Why hasn't it happened? And how do I get there? So as I began to think about my own life, I thought about, how do I want it to manifest? How did I want it to be successful? How did I want my life to manifest so that it could be my destiny? And I had to look at my past. I had to go back. I had to look back at what I had been through, what I had gone through, what I had experienced that brought me to where I am currently right now. And I'm sure I'm not alone when I say that there were a lot of opportunities for things to go differently, right? There was a lot of opportunity for things to go differently in my life. There was a crossroads in my life, and I chose the right road, thank God, happily and luckily. But there were opportunities. I could have taken the wrong road, and that would have been unfortunate. The manifestation of my destiny allows me to know that I am continuing on a path of alignment with the Creator, with my higher power, with my God. That enables me to walk the path that is needed to get to the finish line, that is required to meet the goal that is necessary within myself, the opportunity to move forward, to continue to move forward, to not let anything stand in my way, be it others, be it myself, be it a system, be it anything. I am destined within myself to be successful. There is always co-creation with you and God as you run for that goal line, that manifesting line of crossing the line towards your destiny. You are not in this alone, but isn't that what happens to us? Isn't that what we realize as we see our own lives as what we have to do for our destiny? But we never go into it in prayer about it. We never go into prayer and ask, is this what God sees for us to do? Is this the destiny or the manifestation of our destiny that God sees for us? And here is the lesson I learned. When I first got into New Thought, I thought this was going to change my life, and it did. I thought this was going to be easy, and it wasn't. I thought this was the way to go, and it has been. But what I also realized is that there was a lot of work to be done that has to be done, and some of that work had to do with renewing my mind, seeing things differently, through a different lens, allowing myself to know that everything here is for my good, whether it feels that way in the beginning, whether it feels that way in the middle, whether it ends up that way in the end, everything is here for my good. And we are all destined within ourselves to be successful. Each person sitting here today is on the road to the manifestation of their destiny. And let me tell you why I say that. I say that because each one here wants to be the best self they can be. Each one here is seeking an opportunity to be more in their lives than what they are right now, or just have a life that feels better, that looks better, that may even taste better than what they are dealing with currently. And that is what we get right here at the Center for Spiritual Awareness. There are opportunities for you to grow. And every time that you take an opportunity to grow, you take an opportunity to manifest your destiny. Yes. There is never, ever an opportunity for growth in your life that you should miss. Take advantage of all the opportunities of growth in your life. Take advantage of all the opportunities for you to evolve into a better self, to be an even more amazing, magnificent expression than what you are right now. Because it is possible and it is going to happen. Just by you being here, you are allowing yourself to evolve into the manifestation of your destiny that is yours to receive. And I say that to you because you are open at the top. You are here to be fed nourishment that is going to not only feed your soul, but it's going to feed your mind and allow you to see a thought differently, allowing you to look at a thought creatively, allowing you to see that what is happening in my life, if it's good, better, or best, I'm excited because it means I'm growing. And when I grow, I evolve. And when I evolve, I become an even greater expression to share with the world right now. Now, each of the classes that we give here, each of our workshops that we present here, and each of the educational, informational opportunities we provide here are here to help you manifest into a destiny that is going to be a blessing to this world, because you are that already. You are that already. However, there are also opportunities to learn from each other, because it is important to me that you realize that you are not broken. You may feel broken, and right here are some resources to help you remember or to connect to the wholeness that you are and have always been. As we say in Science of Mind, and I reworked it a little, renew your thinking, renew your thoughts, renew your life. And there is always an opportunity to see something differently than the way you have perceived it presently. The other item that will provide you with the blessings that you need in your life is volunteering, providing an opportunity for you to give your treasure to others enthusiastically by volunteering your time to help others, which becomes an instant blessing to you. Let me explain. I love movies. I'm an amazing movie buff. I love old movies, though more so than the newer ones. I love the old classics. I love the clothing. I love the black and white cinematography. I just love movies. And when I look at a movie for the first time, I'm looking at the movie with my mind at that moment. It may have evolved, it may have grown, it may have gone through an experience, but when I'm looking at a movie for the first time, I'm seeing it through that lens. But when I take the opportunity to see that same movie again, a year or two later, I may be experiencing different feelings, or the feelings that I have as I'm viewing the movie again have evolved. Well, let me share with you what I have experienced. I see things I missed. I see things I thought I saw that I didn't see. And I also realized that there was something that I missed from seeing it the first time, or maybe even 11 times, that I now see more clearly than when I saw it the first time. Every day that you are living and having your way through this world, we are experiencing it with a mind that is being given information continuously that it needs to digest. So because the mind is receiving thoughts, we are receiving thoughts that are of this period in our lives. While looking at something later in your life, you're realizing that the mind is using thoughts that are more mature or have evolved or have taken on a different thought pattern regarding this particular issue. But no matter what it is, and no matter how you see it, it still is growth. You are looking through a lens now that sees the world differently from then to now. Your mind has evolved, hopefully more pleasantly, more in tune, more educated, more open-minded, more embracing, more loving, and more compassionate. And isn't that what we all want in our lives? To be a better version of what we are presently, a more successful, prosperous, and more loving, empathetic person than what we are presently. And I believe that it is possible for all of us. We're all going to grow, whether we want to or not. And what I mean by that is that life experiences you, and as you experience life. So I just want to say that you, right here, right now, have the skills, the capabilities, and the resources to manifest your destiny, to change your life into something that you want it to be, that is going to be a blessing not only to you, but also to this world. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.